good to be with you once again right here on FE Builds, and I've got something in front of me. We're going to be installing it in the JK, in the Wrangler, in Mando. I've got my gloves on for dealing with wax oil because we're going to get in there on the suspension and we're going to correct sway bar links. We're going to actually put the correct ones for the lift that we've got on the vehicle. So these are the new ones that we've got. These are for the front. They're a bit shorter than the ones for the back. These are Poison Frog links. I don't know if they're sold under another brand apart from this one, but it's pretty much straightforward to install. So we're going to get them fitted. You'll see a before video. I want to keep this short, and you'll also see an after clip when they're fitted in, and then we'll take a drive and see the difference. I believe I have some videos of drives with the old ones already in, so we'll see the difference that it makes, because I do believe that if your sway bar is not set correctly, meaning it doesn't have the correct links, you could possibly invert your sway bar. Here's the rear links. They're longer, much longer than the original ones, the stock standard ones. And to explain this and the length difference, we'll quickly go to the car and I'll just show you what we're trying to achieve. This right here is the sway bar, or the anti-roll bar, or whatever you want to call it. Whatever you call it in your terminology. And this helps with stability of the car when you're driving, and ideally what we want to get, or what we want to achieve with our mission over here, is to get this to such a place where after our lift, this is not pointing downwards, but it's at a higher level. And the reason being is, when you get to a place off-road, especially with a car like this that's been lifted, this comes very close to being straight, meaning the link and this rod line up. And there's the danger of it when it lines up like that, going either way. It can either go that way, or it can go that way. When it goes that way, it gets inverted. When it's that way, it's the correct angle. So if you're lucky, it will go back to its right position. And if you've been following the videos on this channel for some time, you know that I faced this issue with the Jimny until I had to go the whole mile and actually sort it out. So when you do a lift, that's part of the things that you need to address. If you want to do a proper lift, and not just a cheap lift, but a proper lift, having everything working well, that's one of the things that you need to deal with. And I believe this also impacts the ride quality of the vehicle, because if it's aimed at a certain angle, I believe it can also impact the comfort of the vehicle as you're driving and just how it feels. I learned this with another vehicle that I was driving, where the sway bar was disconnected, and it was much easier to actually drive. It was wonderful. So we're going to do a sway bar correction, get this angle to a point where it's either straight or it's either pointing upwards slightly, so that when we take this car to full flex, there's no risk of it inverting. There's still an angle there, and it will go back to its proper position where it's supposed to be. When you get the car stock standard from the factory, you'll see that the angle is correct. It's actually either pointing straight or pointing slightly upwards. But when we do these lifts and these other things, there's certain correction that needs to be done for the geometry to all be in line and the suspension to function as designed. And this is part of it. So long story short, we're going to be replacing these with the longer ones so that this bar goes up slightly. And when we get to full flex, it doesn't get straight in line with that. And there's no risk of it going that way. So let's get to it. I'm going to quickly take these off, show you a video, then put the new ones on, and maybe we might even have a comparison between the two. So I believe these are the Mopar original stabilizer links, or sway bar links, and I've got Poison Frog replacement for these. So let's try them out and let's see how it goes. Okay, so the front links are done. The rear links are here. They're quite long. I'll show you a comparison when I take off the old ones. I've actually gotten the bolts loose. Just need to take them off, and we're going to follow the same process. Put copper slip on the bolts so they don't seize up in there, and if we ever need to take them off or replace them, then yeah. And you need to use gloves for this job because it's messy, I tell you. Even just touching the spanner and touching these will leave your hands like covered in oil that doesn't wash off with soap. You have to use Q20 to get it off. And there we go, that's the new front links installed. There's a lot of space for them to go up or down or flex or whatever needs to happen. Technically this is a spring, this bar over here, it's a torsion bar. And yeah, there's play in different areas, so I doubt it will ever touch up there, but we'll monitor the situation and just see how it goes. But you can see that the angle is much better now. If we flex it, the tires go down, this rod's going to pull down like that, or the sway bar's going to pull down, but it won't get to a point where it actually is in danger of inverting and going that way, because you don't want it to fold outwards then in. You want it to go inwards then down. Okay, so that's the new one's done, and now we're on the back. Okay, so once again we have the same issue over here. It's not as bad, but the bar is pointing downwards, and it would be a very, very sad situation if this rear sway bar had to invert. Although I don't think the likelihood of it happening at the back here is as much as at the front, but if it did have to, we'd most probably take out this line, damage a few things over here, because currently the right position is to go up and then come back. And from the angle I'm shooting, it almost looks like it's pointing upwards and it's at the right setting, but it's actually pointing downwards slightly like that. So there's a risk that it could actually become straight, and once it becomes straight parallel with the link, there's a risk that it could come this way, and we don't want that to happen. So we're going to work on this, and we're going to put the new ones in. Take note to the length of the old ones. I've actually got all the bolts loose, and I'm going to compare the old versus the new side by side, and we'll take it from there. This is the difference between the new and the old rear links. As you can see, it's about, say, 2 inches longer. So that bar is going to sit at a high angle, and it should compensate for the lift that we've got. This is specifically tuned for the lift. However, at each point I'm going to put some anti-seize because I really battled with this, getting this off. These sections, I mean, when they sit for a long time, they were worn out completely, where literally just spins in there. You have to really grab that, but then if this is seized on, it's a problem. Like the bottom piece already had anti-seize on it, as you can see. You can see that copper color in there, but the top part was a mission to get out. So we're going to make sure that we put anti-seize on that so that we don't have that issue. Okay, so we are done, and now we can finally see that the angle was pointing upwards, it's not pointing down, and it's much better. Looking at the travel that this will take, and it comes down and it should be good. It looks good. It's all tightened up. It's just got a bit of wax oiled on it. But that's a wrap for this video. Thank you for watching. Until next time, cheers.